Through the chair, we are out at 10:02. There are two staff members who were here who wanted, were approached. If Mary Starris and Tony Ponte could come to the microphone, there was a trip, a retreat that some of our students from the high school are currently on. If they could come to the microphone and give the public and board some information. This is the Lead for Diversity retreat or workshop. It was on your agenda last time. It was not voted on. They are on the retreat now after I was able to speak to the insurance company. Provided you approved it tonight, the insurance would be retroactive, which you did approve it, so I do thank the board for that. But Tony Ponte, who's in charge of our PALS program, and Mary Starris, who's a teacher for many years in our high school, would like to just tell the public about what this is about.
Good evening. I'm Mary Starris. This is Tony Ponte, and we coordinate the PALS program. And through the PALS program, we advise a club called Rewind. And fortunately, with Mr. Enzelbuck's help, we were able to send our students again this year. They left on Sunday for the Pocono Environmental Center in Pennsylvania, and they will be trained for 6 days at a residential camp, and they will be trained on bias. And it's they will celebrate diversity. They are being trained. We're going to talk a little bit about our Rewind, a little background about our Rewind Club.
About 9 years ago, we were fortunate enough to strike up a partnership with New Jersey Resources as part of their community outreach program and the American Conference on Diversity. And each year, they allow our students to participate in a few different sessions of activities that actually promote tolerance, raise diversity awareness, and bring that back to the high school students. We're very fortunate in the fact that they provide the funding for this program to run. And we did start a club years ago called Rewind, which stands for Reaching Everyone with Interactive Discussion, which is what they are trained to do when they go to their residential camp and a few workshops over weekends during the school year. They bring that back to the high school students, and the club is not only for PALS students, it does involve the entire high school if they choose to be part of it. And I was able to pass the torch along to Mary 2 years ago when I was asked to take on a few other duties through the PALS program. So I'm going to let Mary tell you more about what goes on during the school year for these students.
I left at your seats some information on Lead for Diversity and a little booklet on our PALS program. And on the last page of your Lead for Diversity pamphlet, I have included my end-of-year report. So this year in Rewind, we had a very successful year. I have outlined some major activities. What we did, now students are away for 6 days, they will be implementing an action plan. And the action plan that they did last July, we used all year. We worked on the action plan all year. The students this year worked on an action plan that was stopping the use of demeaning phrases. So we did many different facets of that. Also, we started a Rewind and Buddies program. So the Project Venture, which is also funded by New Jersey Resources in the middle school, I got the names of some of those students, and those were students at risk. So when they come into the high school as freshmen, our Rewind students are upperclassmen mentor them. So we had a very successful program with our action plan this year. We do, in January, we do advanced peer leadership training, and that's at Georgian Court. We do a multi-day awareness to action overnight where the students are again trained in advanced bias training. We have, this year and last year, we did a school swap. Last year, we did Freehold Township, and we also did Marlboro. So Lakewood hosted those schools, and our students went out to those schools. And they, experienced the day in a school that's quite culturally diverse, totally different than their school. So that was also very successful. What else? We do monthly meetings where we do a lot of one-on-one discussion. The students really come into their own. They become very accomplished, and they raise awareness in school. They feel that they're not going to knock down on your door and try and force anything on you, but they did an out to educate this year, which was very good. So if the students were saying something demeaning, they would say ouch, and the student would say, why are you saying ouch? And then they would educate them on whatever the terminology that the student was using that was offensive. Let's see, we also did some fundraising activities. We had 2 major accomplishments this year. I was very proud of our students. We were asked to Manytown, which is another peer leadership training, and I was called by the American Conference on Diversity, and 4 of our students were asked to facilitate that meeting. Our one student that graduated last year, he is now a facilitator for the American Conference on Diversity. I will see him on Thursday when I visit.
Through the chair, is there some way Ms. Starrs and Ms. Ponte can get all this information, which is contained in their end of the year report, as well as information with PALS, as well as the Lead Diversity Conference? Can we get that onto our website? If you could please contact Mr. Trishada, and he's not available, contact Rosie Carey. If you can give her this information, and we'll get this onto our website.
Great.
So the entire community can see the great things we're doing.
All right, I will sum up with one other thing.
Okay.
We were also this year invited to Diamonds for Diversity. And we were the only school in Ocean County that was asked to come, and we received a plaque for 9 years of participation in League for Diversity.
All right, so let's have
Tracy? I just have a quick question for the young lady. Would this program also be available to the middle school students as well? Or do the high school students go to the middle school?
Well, in the middle school, it's called Project Venture.
Gotcha.
And Project Venture, the advisor over there, she does a lot, it's all funded through New Jersey Resources. So she has hit her students at the 8th grade level out on quite a few trips. And so I want to bridge the middle school to the high school and let New Jersey Resources know that we were really following through with their students. So,
Did you have a chance to meet our new principal?
Hi,
Al, how are you?
Thank
So
you.
you two get together and do your thing. There's a new principal at the middle school, Mr. Fasnacht. So, but if you could post this on our website by contacting, and you'll give this to Rosie. Thank you so much. Let's have one more hand, please. Okay, Mr. President, it's yours.
Isaac?
We can't hear down here. We do have addendum that
Can Tracy,
Can I make a
Isaac.
motion to appoint Mr. Wallach as assistant principal in high school?
yes, Mr. Wallach, if you could stand up, how are you? Mr. Wallach was here last time, we did have the chance to interview him in closed session. Mr. Wallach, the motion is to appoint Mr. Wallach, assistant principal, high school, effective August 1st, 2011, terminating June 30, 2012, salary MA Step 10, Category 2, $129,541, replacement for Mayor Marcy Berturzo, who's reassigned. Is that your motion?
Yes.
And is there a second?
Second.
There are multiple seconds. Mr. Fink, I heard, and then I heard someone else, Mr. Greenspan. Is there any discussion? If there is no discussion, if we could have a roll call.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Mr. Greenspan?
Yes.
Ms. Miggio?
Yes.
Mr. Tiff?
Yes.
Mr. Slotkin?
Yes.
Mr. Grunhut.
Congratulations, you became. Through the chair, we can post on our website by Friday, for each building, all of our administrators, since we do have some changes and some new administrators, so everyone in the town can know who's who. Good idea, thank you.
Okay, Mike, through the chair, is it also possible to post the notifications on the website with the pictures as well?
You mean of the new administrators?
Yes.
Yes, if we have pictures, Mr. Shoshada, we can get their pictures, or whoever does pictures here. The man, no, he only does nights. But we need some pictures, and that's an excellent idea. Needless to say, by Friday, Tracy will have their names, and as soon as we can get the pictures, we'll have their pictures.
Thank you.
Anything else? Mr.
Let's do the addendums.
Okay, let's do the addendums. Okay,
Make a motion?
is there a motion?
Yes.
What is the motion?
I make a motion to disband the search committee for a new superintendent.
Okay, to disband,
Second.
and there's a second.
Any discussion?
Why?
Yes, why?
There's no need for that at the moment. I think it just creates an aura of, what do you call that word, vulnerability? Who? Uncertainty in a school. Right now, we're getting into a high school principal and assistant principal. When they see the board is just looking for another superintendent, they wonder what's going on over here. These are things that I've been heard and told with specifics, that the teachers are asking that these questions. Well, you know, every time, every year or two, another superintendent comes in. Finally, I think we do have a superintendent which is bringing change, to a good change. Not everyone likes it, but there is definitely a good change to the high school, to the middle school, to the elementary school, K through 12. And that's something we need to discuss later on, over the next month or two, whatever it may be. But meanwhile, I think we need to disband the search for the new superintendent.
What I think through the chair is that based on the information that I have through the capital report, which will be available at the next meeting, so all the board members will be able to read it, I think you would be considered that motion.
Through the chair,
Yes.
have you read the capital report?
For me?
Have you read the capital?
No.
Then
I
I
think
think you
hold off
may,
that motion.
I think you should hold off on that motion until you read the capital
So
report.
that information is available.
Picture doesn't work.
I can always, make another motion.
Well, just
Next
don't
time.
change the motion. People need to read that before.
Or put different people on it.
I'm becoming a lawyer, just watching.
Isaac? You're,
And I'm coming.
I did not read the cap report. Bottom line is, the
That's why you got one
superintendent
outside
will be
calling
here
it
for
budget.
another year, for sure. And I think the point that Mr. Grunhut is trying to make, that this year, we should not start by making committee and sending a message that is for certain that the superintendent will not be here after this year. So, one second, let me just
When will
finish.
be the good
Let
time?
me just finish. So when we hired, and I was not here when we did hire Ms. Silva, but when the contract was signed for 3 years, she has a chance in 3 years to show whether she could bring the scores up, reform the schools, and she still has another year. So while I'm looking forward to reading the CAP report, and the fact is that she's still going to be a principal for, superintendent for another year.
Through the chair,
yes.
I appreciate everything that Isaac is saying and so forth, but the search committee does not necessarily mean that the current superintendent is going to be not behind. But with failing schools and scores going down, I think we need to leave all our options open and to make sure we have the best qualified, unless you don't feel that's accurate, superintendent going forward. So by nixing the committee, I think what you're doing is really cutting your nose to spite your face. I think we need to look for the best qualified superintendent going forward. Not saying Ms. Silva shouldn't be looked to be rehired.
Through the chair, the only, it's definitely an option, you don't have to do it the year before. The only reason why we do it a year before is to send a message that people who don't want change could weather out this year, and then don't have to change, and then we're not gonna have reform. So everything he's saying is true, but why do it now? Why was it done now? You could have waited 6 months. It doesn't take a year to make a search for a superintendent. It was done to, in a sense, in my opinion.
Through the chair. Through the chair.
And she's still a superintendent for another year. I mean, that's a fact.
Yes, that is a fact.
So I think she should be given a chance, because that's what the original contract said, that she has 3 years. And I'd like to ask people who are for the search committee, right, to have established right now, did you look at the HASPA scores or any other indicators of the performance of the students for the past year?
Well, I think with the search committee, that should be done, even before we take this motion off the table, because I have the high school capital report, also from the middle school. And we also have the city grant findings, when they also did a search committee, and they had people that were in the state as well, and they evaluated our system. And they found a lot of things wrong with the system. And you really need to make yourself available and aware of all the reports that I have here that I have actually read, flagged and marked. That's why during closed session, I made it a point to ask Ms. Silva to make herself aware with what's in this report, because I plan on having a lot of questions.
Through the chair.
About things that are inside these reports.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Mr. Tift, I hear exactly what you're saying about holes in the system and different issues. I do believe that there are holes in our system, but we are heading in a good direction. And,
Master, please,
and
we're having democracy in action.
when the superintendent was hired, from memory, I was not on board at the time. I was.
Where does he live? Where was
She
he at?
said it'll take a full 3 years to get things going.
Okay.
To start the process. It's not, does not happen overnight to change 10 years, 12 years, 15 years of a failing school district. We have a failing school district. There's no one here that can deny that. However, we do need change, and Ms. Silva, I believe, and from what I see, is trying to bring change at this present time. To sit here and make a search committee a year before she's done, it's just like a lack, it's like a disrespect. And it shows the teachers that we do not have the back of the superintendent.
No, it doesn't.
That's my
I have a
opinion.
different one. It
Everyone
doesn't show that.
I have a right to my opinion, and that's my
You're
opinion.
absolutely right. But what it shows here is facts that are here. In the 2 years that she's been here,
We are failing for not 2 years, for a lot of years.
I'm not saying that we're failing for 2 years based on her time here. Based on her time here.
Worse.
Things haven't improved. Things haven't improved in the past 2 years based on these reports. These aren't things that I'm making up myself. These are factual state reports
Through the chair.
that are here, in black and white. And you literally, before people start making motions to take things off, you need to make yourself aware of what's inside these state reports before you make any, I'm telling you, any read the report first. And if everybody on this table agrees with me, then we'll back where we started from. If everyone on this table,
Through the chair.
if anybody on this table
He's
disagrees
still talking.
with the findings in these reports, then you know what? I won't say another word. I will encourage her to stay another year, which she's going to be here anyway, to not to disband this committee. But first, read the reports from the state.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Michael, you're the attorney, so is the capital report public information?
Not only is it public information, I don't need you to tell me it's public. Thank you.
I'm asking you.
It is public information, and fairness to some board members, perhaps you forgot, many of you have received the capital report. It is a public document.
But it refers to the public.
So obviously the board members who received
Well,
it didn't read it.
obviously, Mr. Fink, you're not going to get me going there. But I can tell you the
It's obvious.
Well, I don't know what's obvious. The answer is it's a public document. That was the question, right? Okay?
Can we vote?
Cool.
Any further discussion?
So the motion is to disband the search committee?
That's correct.
And, okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Fink?
No.
Was there a second?
There's no sense.
Well,
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Greenspan,
Yes.
Ms. Micchio,
Yes.
Mr. Tiff,
No.
Mr. Slotkin,
Yes.
Mr. Grunlund.
Yes.
Motion passed.
There are several addendum, if you want to go over the addendum. There is a addendum, order, an addendum to hire a substance abuse coordinator, Michael Victor, salary MA step 25 at $77,640, effective September 1st, 2011, terminating June 3rd, 2012, pending negotiation, no cost to the district, and using SIG funds. Is there a motion?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Greenspan,
Yes.
Ms. Micchio,
Yes.
Mr. Tiff,
Yes.
Mr. Slotkin, Mr. Grunlund.
Yes.
Motion passes.
There is a addendum number 2, some transfers. Yvonne Edwards, teacher of ESL from the Annex to Spruce. Evelyn Gonzalez, ESL from Annex to Spruce, September 1st, 2011, effective. Also, we did have the opportunity after the last meeting with the union president and the vice president to meet with Eliza Cousin-Hanlon, teacher of TV broadcast production. She will stay at the high school as teacher of social studies / TV broadcast production, September 1st, 2011. Replacement for Jay Brown resigned. Also, Cynthia Talafo, better known as Mrs. T, teacher of physical education and health, from the Annex Clifton Avenue to Clark, effective September 1st, 2011. Replacement for Mr. Shapiro, retired. Is there a motion?
Yes.
A second? Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Greenspan,
Yes.
Ms. Micchio,
Yes.
Mr. Tiff,
Yes.
Mr. Slotkin,
Yes.
Mr. Grunlund.
Yes.
There is
Motion passes.
addendum 3, approval for Adina Wise to attend the mandatory 21st Century Conference to be held in Baltimore, Maryland on July 25th, 26th, 27th, 2011. Cost not to exceed $1,500, paid through the 21st Century Grant. Is there a motion?
Yes.
Second?
Yes.
Any discussion? Seeing none?
Mr. Fink,
Abstain.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Greenspan,
Yes.
Ms. Micchio,
Yes.
Mr. Tiff,
Yes.
Mr. Slotkin,
Yes.
Mr. Grunlund.
Yes.
There's addendum 4, Danielle, and I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong, Grgas Rodriguez, elementary teacher to be hired at Spruce Street School effective September 1st, terminating June 30th, 2012. Salary BA step 13, $53,063, pending negotiations. Replacement for Ebony Baker, reassigned as vice principal, who was making $53,150. Is there a motion? Second? Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing
Mi-
none?
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Greenspan,
Yes.
Ms. Micchio,
Yes.
Mr. Tiff,
Yes.
Mr. Slotkin,
Yes.
Mr. Grunlund.
Yes.
There are 2, addendum 5, these are superintendent items. Certificated miscellaneous, Adina Wise, supervisor of non-related services from July 1st to August 30th, $2,724 per month for the 21st Century Grant. Neva Muzella, executive secretary, Title I SES, from July 1st to August 30th, $2,000 per month, paid for the 21st Century Grant, so it's a period of July and August. Is there a motion?
Yes.
A second?
Yes.
Discussion? Call?
Mr. Fink,
No.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Greenspan,
Yes.
Ms. Micchio,
Yes.
Mr. Tiff,
Yes.
Mr. Slotkin,
Yes.
Mr. Grunlund.
Yes.
Superintendent items, personnel, non-certificated appointment of Stacy Wolf, paraprofessional, the LECC, effective September 1st, expired June 30, 2012. Salary 90 credits, step 1, $18,179. Pending negotiations, new position, paid through early childhood grant. Is there a motion?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Discussion? Roll.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Mr. Greenspan?
Yes.
Ms. Mickio?
Yes.
Mr. Tiff?
Yes.
Mr. Slotkin?
Yes.
Mr. Brunhut?
Yes.
Aviva CAT Scans, Paraprofessional Learning Center, Early Learning Center, September 1st through June 30th, 90 credits, step 1, 18,179, pending negotiations, new position, addendum 6, is there a motion?
Yes.
Second,
Yes.
discussion?
No, how many left do we have?
We want to do them all together?
Yes.
Can you do all the-
That was number 6. Stop. Addendum number 8, I don't know where 7 is. Rosalind Newstad, Paraprofessional Early Learning Center, September 1st through June 30th, 90 credits, step 1, 18,175. Pending negotiations, replacement for T. Kolodziejski, non-renewal, 22,420. Appointment, Paraprofessional Early Learning Center, Frady Berger, effective September, terminating June 12, 90 credits, step 1, 18,179. Replacement for Ed Wilson, reassigned, 20,905, pending negotiations. Nakama Monk Niowitz, Paraprofessional Early Learning Center, effective September 1st, terminating June 30th, 90 credits, step 1, 18,179, pending negotiations. Replacement for R. Rosenblatt, reassigned, 20,905. Those are the employees. There's also report and recommendation number 11 of the Board Secretary, Business Administrator, approved payment to Dixie and Associates Agency for the 11-12 school year for school board insurance package in the amount of $359,535.60. There's a motion to appropriate $300. Please listen closely. A motion to appropriate $300,000 from the additional state aid recently received thanks to our great governor for the purpose of purchasing textbook for public schools, budget account code 11-190-100-640. There's an approval of a contract renewal for 2011-12 school year, having determined that the vendor has provided services. No. Approval of a contract renewal for 11-12 for Tri-Town County Security Services, Vineland, New Jersey, for security guard services in the amount of $289,325.89. There is no increase in the contract amount from the 10-11 school year, and all terms and conditions of the previous contract remain in effect, with one provision that this will be looked at on a quarterly basis, and the district has the absolute right to immediately declare the contract null and void with proper notice at each of those quarters. Those are the addendum I have been handed by the BA.
Motion to vote on all the addendums.
And is there a second? Discussion? Roll.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Mr. Greenspan?
Yes.
Ms. Mickio?
Yes.
Mr. Tiff?
Yes.
Mr. Slotkin?
Yes.
And Mr. Brunhut?
Yes.
Those are the only addendum I have, sir. That's ma'am, sir, and ma'am. Unless there's something else I need to add.
Motion to adjourn.
By law, stop.
Listen,
You heard what I said
Okay.
before you got up.
thank you.
By law, there has to be public participation.
That's right.
That is if we have a quorum. The public has been waiting. We have 7 people. You need not stay if we have no quorum, but they've been waiting. Ms. Bosky, I'm reading in order. Hold on 1 second. How many members do we have here? We have 6. I'm sorry, 7. Mr. Friedman is leaving to the country now. Bye-bye, Mr. Friedman. Janice Bosky.
Oh, he just came in to do what he had to do.
Education Association,
Vote.
I would like to,
Carl Fink is leaving. We have 5. Wait. Oh,
I am not leaving.
what are you doing then?
I'm going to talk to Pastor
Well,
Wilson.
then we don't have a quorum
You got
without.
enough people.
No, Mr.
They
Friedman.
came to vote, they could stay 5 extra minutes.
And you came to vote and not to.
Michael, you told me to come, you didn't have a quorum. They were all stacked, they could wait 5 minutes.
Well, now we don't have a quorum, so unfortunately.
Mr.
their purpose.
They came, they voted on certain things, and they don't want to hear the public. Come on, seriously.
It's time for these guys to start working for us.
Wait, I'm trying to keep this, so don't.
I'll stay, I'm sorry.
Janice Bosky, thank you, we have,
That's your problem.
no, you got it.
Resign your position.
The record should reflect Mr. Zlakin left, we have 6. Janice Bosky.
Yes, Lakewood Education Association, thank you. First thing I'd like to speak about is the Achieve 3000. The superintendent's not here, but I wanted to thank her for saying that it was a supplemental program and that teachers come first. And also that the scores are based on what they achieved in that program. However, I would like to ask the board, or if Achieve 3000 could do this, we know the bottom line is the scores are more important from the New Jersey Ask, from the elementary school to the middle school. I would like to see Achieve 3000 data correlated with New Jersey Ask data. And as we know, we need that according to CAPA and CUSAC. That's our important data. So if someone could request that when we get the scores from Achieve 3000, if that's
Actually,
possible.
Mr. Tiff had asked that in closed session as soon as we got the scores. He's ahead.
Okay. And the dust has settled from the last meeting, and I was really concerned. I thank you for approving the teachers tonight, but I'm still concerned that we're missing an assistant superintendent, an early childhood supervisor, literacy supervisor, and more teachers, as I know some are resigning as we speak. There is a sense of urgency here in this district to have more communication and better collaboration with the staff, and that's what I'm looking for this year. And I know there were questions about the SIG grant last meeting too. So any of those concerns, we have them too. I would like to extend to the board an invitation anytime they wanted to speak and have some information. I know you get it from Mrs. Silva or from Mr. Enselbook, but I am also available to preside over any kind of meeting you want, to get any information or concerns that you might have. I am looking for a very smooth beginning of the year. The superintendent and I have been trying to meet. It's been canceled at least 3 times, but we have been trying to meet to have more communication this year, and we would like to hit the ground running on the first day with our stuff, all our teachers ready.
Just 1 second, Lily is coming in.
I
Do you
feel
mind repeating some of the things you said?
Okay.
In summary, what she said was Achieve 3000 needs to, because we don't want to use up our time, so we're pushing pause.
You don't have that.
Oh, you don't? Okay, then use your time.
I asked about Achieve 3000, I told him it is a great program, the students are using it, that he did present the scores based on that program, but we would like to see a correlation between Achieve 3000 and New Jersey Ask, since CAPA, CUSAC, and everybody else, those scores are what count.
And I've asked them to bring it to us in August as soon as we have all the data. So,
And I've also said, after the last board meeting cleared, I thank the board for hiring the people that we needed. However, we're still missing an assistant superintendent, early childhood supervisor, literacy supervisors. I'm not even sure assistant principals and principals and teachers that I know could be resigning as since last week I know have resigned, so we will need more teachers. I said that you and I had tried to arrange a meeting, it's had been canceled for various reasons, that we would like an open communication and collaboration this year between the LEA and the administration in the district. I also know that the board had some concerns about how the SIG grant would be supervised or things that are going on in the district. So I did offer to answer any questions on behalf of the LEA that they had. I would like to see a very smooth beginning to the beginning of the year, that on day 1, every teacher knows where they're supposed to report and everybody's ready to serve the children of Lakewood. And once again, any questions or concerns?
4 minutes.
I'm open.
Why you keep timing there?
How many teachers do you feel we really need, in addition to what we have right now currently in Lakewood?
We have a position
I
on.
asked the,
Not you.
Ms. Bosky, this is not appropriate.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry.
I'm on the union committee.
You're on the
I think it is.
union committee as long,
Okay, I would like you to bring that, if you don't mind, to the committee. I'd like to see that firsthand.
yes. In fact, for the public's benefit, the union has been asked now for 2 weeks to find time. I understand Ms. Schlager unfortunately had a death in their family, but Mr. Fink and the committee and myself have asked for opportunity to meet as soon as possible. We're now going into week 2 waiting. I understand Ms. Schlager had a death, but Ms. Bosky did say she would get back to my office tomorrow, so we could possibly meet in the next week to discuss issues. So we await the union. Pastor Glenn Wills, I'm sorry.
Tracy, please. On the position roster, it lets you know exactly how many vacancies are listed in the back page 16 and 17. That was in our packet last week. So the position roster, it was up to date.
Nobody else read it but Tracy.
There's quite a few positions that are need to be filled. And actually, Ms. Silva, as soon as possible, try to fill most of those positions, if not all, before school starts in September.
I sent out an email and I met with the principals and indicated to them that I would like by August 15th for all the teachers and the vacancies to be filled. That is their standing order, and from my discussions with them, they are interviewing almost every day. So I think that every vacancy, it's in our interest to have it filled, because teachers and administrators have to be in front of the children.
Bill Hobday, I'm sorry that, well, Pastor, I'm sorry I was mixed.
We'll have day 30 Schoolhouse Lane. 3 issues. I think that every board member should make it their business to be here at board meetings. Most of the meetings now we see less than 9 members. It's your duty and your responsibility to be here and to help conduct the business of the district. It's time to settle this district down. We've had revolving positions year after year after year. I think that it's time that if you don't start to settle it down now, you're never going to get that opportunity. I can't imagine how the State Department of Education is not looking very hard at Lakewood to see what's going on there. They can't keep business administrators. They can't. It seems to be an ever-evolving system of hire. Something happens, they let go, or they resign. We have 4 BAs in the last several years. I hope that we have a more permanent person at this time. The last meeting on Thursday and tonight's meeting, she conducted herself very well, and I hope that that just continues. Achieve 3,000. In Thursday's meeting, there was some discrepancy where we saw a presentation on how wonderful the program is going, but I heard from teachers that it's not widespread. If this is an act, it's time to get down to brass tacks. This thing is working or it's not. And if it's not working, why not? Can it be fixed? If it can be fixed, fix it. If it can't be fixed, get rid of it. Textbooks. The Gov gave us some additional cash back, and I see that's going to textbooks. Thank goodness. It's about time.
About time.
For heaven's sakes, we haven't had an adequate number of textbooks in this school district for years and years and years. I don't know whether this funding is enough to accomplish what needs to be done. Let's hope it's at least a start in that direction. Let us hope. But please, everybody has to resolve. Can't settle this district down. Let's make sure that those students that are out there depending on us for your discretion and your good judgment, that you really do it and they really get the benefit of that. Settle it down. Thank you.
Through the chair, I'd like to ask Ms. Silva a question, with the permission of the chair. Now that we have the money, Ms. Lydia Silva, how are we making sure that books are being ordered so that they're actually here? Because I remember there was another stage, since we had the money, we didn't order them. How are we making sure they're being ordered and in the classrooms by September? What are you doing with this $300,000 the board just gave you?
Since the board just gave it to me, I am going to make sure that when your purchase orders are out and that the principals are working on it. The principals are here. They've been asking me when they can go ahead. The purchase orders will go through. And through the business office, we'll expedite.
All right, with your permission, is it possible the BA and the assistant can get a memo out to all the principals tomorrow, telling them based on your directive how much money they have, and that they should have it back by next, let's say Tuesday, what they want to spend the money on so we can get this going?
And that's consistent with the meeting I already had planned with our new BAs. Yes.
Great.
To the chair, I have a question. With the principals that were in place at the time, was there a budget set in place before they left? And if it were the books ordered during the time that they were there, knowing the need at the time that they were there, with those books ordered in a timely fashion? Because here we are at the end of June.
July. Please don't go back to July.
Going into August, September is right around the corner. How long, if any, would it take these books to come in?
I respectfully remind our board that we had this discussion starting in March, and there were certain differences of opinion which didn't allow for certain expenditures to take place, if you recall. So, no, the principals did not order all the textbooks. There were some, but not the bulk of them, because were not able to make that decision. I can refer to the board minutes, which indicated that the funds were not available for that. And now that they are, I'll be moving very quickly.
Pastor Glenn Wilson.
Pastor Glenn Wilson, 138 Colonial Drive, Lakewood, New Jersey. There's a code of ethics, Mr. President, that we in seminary we learn, and it is to be truthful, to be respectful, to be honest. And I try to conduct myself by that code of ethics. But coming to these meetings, I often feel disrespected by some of these board members. And we sit here meeting after meeting, and we discuss issues, and I try to be respectful to the board, and I try to be honest with the board, but we don't always get the same honesty, from the board to the public, okay? I wish that these guys that ran in here tonight at 9 o'clock to vote for something that benefits them, and I hope that Ms. Silva doesn't think that the fact that they stood up for her tonight means that they like her. That's not what it's actually all about. I understand, and some people are not stupid, that some of you on this board, only exist on this board to satisfy Rabbi Aaron Kotler's selfish ambition to run this town.
Who told you that? No. Stop that right now. I'll stop the clock, and you got your full minutes. But you better back up every single word you said. You better tell me, I'd like to know, you can tell me private. I mean, Aaron Cutler has never called me to tell me how to vote. What are you talking about? It's a bunch of baloney, and you keep it week after week after week. You get up here, and you say this nonsense. It's total absurdity what you said. How can you say that? And I'll let it be on the record, let it be on YouTube, and that thing over there.
I said it again.
You can say it 75 times, and I'll say it 150 times. It's not true what you say. Then you back up and you say, don't tell me, show me. I want to see exactly what you say.
Stop the
Full of hogwash.
Stop the clock.
No, you don't, you
Can I
have
finish now?
5 minutes, you have 10 minutes, I'll give you whatever you want tonight.
Can I finish now?
If you don't say, if you're truthful, you can speak, yes.
I'm telling you how I feel.
That's not truthful. That doesn't make it truthful how you feel.
Listen to me. You know, are you telling me that these guys are here for our children?
Absolutely.
For our children?
Absolutely.
That's not true.
That is true.
That is not true.
Why don't you ask that?
And nobody in this room believes you. Nobody in this room believes you, sir.
That doesn't make it not true.
Let me give you an example.
All right, I'm
Okay,
listening.
let me give you an example.
Okay,
Okay, in the committee that you chose to search for a superintendent,
that's correct.
who did you put on that committee? Every committee that we have had in this city, for instance, when we searched for the high school principal, that committee had community leaders, teachers. In the committee that you chose to search for a superintendent, even though we're not going to use that committee, who did you choose? Mr.